3986. If you feel stuck in corporate life, miserable at home, desire your own business, and wish to discuss some solutions, whatever your pain point is, call me for a free strategy session at 561-702-3986. That number again is 561-702-3986. I look forward to speaking with you.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. I invite you to join me every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show. Either way, that's good.
This way?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the Faith Washington Show. I'm Faith Washington. I am a doctor of pharmacy, and I spent many years in retail pharmacy building multi-million-dollar pharmacies for Fortune 100 and 500 companies. I currently do life and professional business coaching, and I actually assist entrepreneurs and executives who are looking to transition out of corporate America with their dreams and their visions for what they would like to do. And I also, on this show, have the privilege of interviewing amazing entrepreneurs at varying levels, from startup to multi-millionaires, and the visions and the things that they've accomplished and achieved. And what we do is we pick out wonderful things that you're not going to get in any class. You're not going to get this in an entrepreneurial class. You're not going to get this in an MBA class or in Lean Six Sigma. So, with that being said, I want to introduce you to my two guests tonight. That would be Steve Nudelberg and Michelle Esposito. They are partners at On the Ball Marketing. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
And in life.
And in life.
And in
Great
life.
to be here.
Yes, and we're gonna discuss that end in life too. That's got to be a challenge.
And great to finally meet you.
Thank you, Steve.
After
Thank
knowing you through our LinkedIn.
3 years on LinkedIn.
3 years on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn works, folks. Okay,
Yes,
just so
right.
you know.
We do know you, right? So it's great to put and we recommend take it offline. So it's really a thrill to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. So, talk to me, you guys. Tell me about On the Ball Marketing, like how you started. You know, just some brief information
great.
on that.
You know, the company is almost 24 years old, which is hard to believe. We started out as a sports marketing company, matching corporations to sports and entertainment opportunities. So very fortunate to have many relationships with teams and buildings and athletes and coaches. Coach Shula was one of my first client relationships.
That's
and
very
so,
cool.
The things you learn from people like that, when you're around people like that who all have great processes to be successful.
And leadership.
It wears off,
And leadership skills.
The way that they discipline themselves, the way that they discipline the people around them. So I was very fortunate. I'm still friendly with, a lot of the coaches that I did business with. It's no surprise both of my sons are in college football coaching. So, we believe in the power of the process. We believe in execution. And so all through the years, the things that, our company has pivoted just like many of the others. We're in an awesome spot right now. But all through the years, there were great times, there were bad times, but we always had belief in the system and in the process. And it's kind of interesting when you look back at this year, all of the major sports championships were won by teams who were losing or were behind, as Michelle would say. They weren't losing.
I like that. It's better,
they were
better
behind.
verbiage.
Right. So
He'd be like, they're losing.
so it's really fascinating. You have Cleveland was down 3-1, Chicago was down 3-1, the Patriots were down 28-3. They never gave up. They never gave in.
Right.
They just stayed to the process, what they know how to do, when to do it, and the chips fall when they fall. So it's been an unbelievable journey for me. I don't think I've ever been happier. I don't think it's ever been easier to be in sales. And so it's just a neat time, and it's great to be here to talk about it.
Yes, it is. And I think that was something we spoke about before the show, is that this is the best time to be an entrepreneur right now on the globe, because we are global. You can go anywhere. You can do it with a cell phone. You can do it with a laptop. And the opportunities abound. It's about having that vision to see what's available, match it with your gifts and talents, use your strengths, downplay your weaknesses. You're never going to get rid of those. And then bring people with you that help to build you up. And those are the people that have strengths where you're not so great.
It's really interesting.
That's about building that's like building a company.
Absolutely.
I spoke at Nova Southeastern recently to a group of entrepreneur wannabes. They're taking an entrepreneurial class, and I'm really free with my time giving it back to students and things like that. And it was very interesting because they all were in a place where they were really thinking in the box. And one of the things I tried to tell them is that you could do anything you want at any time. You don't have to be something that somebody told you before, because the world isn't that way anymore. So I was one of those guys who got caught up in the place where I thought I needed an office. I thought I needed that Monday morning meeting, in face, rah, doing the whole, we're going to kick off the week. And you know what's really interesting? There is no more weeks anymore. It's anytime, any place. For those who know me and follow me, I get up extremely early, if such a thing. I get up about 3 o'clock every day. And I do work when I want to do work, not when the world says or used to say
you should.
That you should. So it's really, if you're creative at night, Michelle's much more creative at night than she is in the morning. And so she operates on her own time clock, and that's fine. We no longer, we had a great office for years. For 15 years, we won awards for the style of the office. It was really a make-believe basketball court. It had bleachers and signage, and it was really cool and really hip. And we loved being there. It just became useless because while we're there, it took an hour to get there, an hour to get back. That time is not spent productively.
Now it's not a great use of time.
It's interesting. We live in Palm Beach now. They're about to build a train. I cannot wait for this bullet train because I can go to Miami in 45 minutes and be unbelievably productive in that 45 minutes as opposed to sitting in traffic, which is a complete brain drain.
Well, what drove me to become an entrepreneur in the first place many, many years ago before all of these nuances was I wanted to control my own schedule. So technology that we have nowadays actually makes that so much easier. So I was so thankful when we got rid of the office.
No kidding. And Michelle was definitely a very successful entrepreneur before she and Steve ever met in Dallas, which is where they met. And I just think that's amazing because you have to have a mindset. That's really what I want my audience to take away is that mindset is very powerful. If you don't have that mindset, the likelihood of success is much smaller. But if you get around people who have that mindset and you're able to let them rub off on you, sometimes people can make it.
So I've been fortunate because I've been in sales my whole career. I've sold everything from cars to clothes to phones, and most people know me in the cellular phone business. But because of that success, I've been around a lot of successful people, and I took notes. And again, those who know me know that I believe that success leaves clues.
Yes,
and that's led me to an exciting opportunity for me. I actually wrote a book. My book will be published over the next 6 to 8 weeks. We'll be pre-selling next month, and it's called Confessions of a Serial Salesman. And you talked about mindset.
Yes.
I believe I put together the book is basically about the rules of engagement. And there's 27 rules for leaders and influencers that many of the corporations in town have been trained. I'm traveling the country speaking and training and delivering this message that is so simple and so easily executed that some of the big monstrous training programs, it makes it look silly because these are very, very simple steps to success. A lot of it starts with how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, the words you use.
That internal voice.
Everything, people, one of the rules that people, they laugh about it, but I say, if you drive home tonight, pull up to a red light, look to the left and look to the right and tell me if any of those people are smiling. nobody smiles
so funny.
anymore. It's hilarious. Nobody smiles anymore.
do.
And it's funny because I'm in airports and people laugh at me. They go, "What are you smiling at?" I go, "Why
always
not?"
smiling.
So, smiling is an easy way to transfer emotion, which is one of
Yes.
the basic things about sales. And it's certainly an easy way to diffuse a bad situation. Because if I
Absolutely.
smile at you,
Absolutely.
you're going to smile back at me. So that's a simple thing that we train people on how to execute on that. Everybody laughs about it and they go, that's a great idea. How do we execute it? And for people who sit at a desk, we make them work in front of a mirror, because things that you would do in front of somebody, you would, it certainly doesn't match up to when you're alone.
Yes.
So I ask people, the next time you're on the phone with somebody, right, pay attention to how they make you feel. You know that they're smiling. The smile comes through the phone.
You can
So
hear it.
You
You
can
can
hear it.
always, I used to tell my staff that. You can always hear when somebody's smiling. And it's the most pleasant, wonderful greeting. Hi, how are you today?
Yeah.
Happy
So
culture.
simple.
So
And that's also about relationship building, which we discussed that as well, which is one of the key pieces of building a business. Any business. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be selling fly swatters.
I mean, it actually has a lot to do with
Those
life
come in handy here.
general. One of the recent interviews I did, one of the questions that was asked to me was, can you tell us the difference between building a business relationship and a regular relationship? And I said, well, one of the things you need to do is lose the word business and just understand that everybody is a relationship. And if you get good at relationship building, better things will come your way, as opposed to wearing a business hat and then some other hat that says, okay, well, now I'm who I'm genuinely. I'm going to show up, as this genuine person only when I'm at home or only when I'm here.
Right, but
it gets confusing.
And isn't it funny that you say that, because then there's that inauthenticity,
Correct.
which people can feel it. They feel the energy, they can sense it, they can hear it, and they know, okay, you've got this hat on here and you got a hat on here. Which one of you is real? Which one do I want to hang with? I want to hang with the one who's congruent across the board. Whether anybody likes it or not, those are the kind of people that I want to be, I want to relate to.
I mean, one of the things I credit Michelle with is being my alter ego and calling BS
On you.
on me.
Because
saying,
nobody,
"Wait a
because
minute."
nobody else would, right?
And
Go, girl.
so it's true. In the beginning, when I started to speak, which was really great, that somebody at one point asked me, they say, "Wow, you seem to be really successful in sales. We'd love for you to come talk to our team."
Right.
And I went out, put together all this content. I was really excited. And really, when you're really comfortable with the material, you never really get nervous. So got up and I gave this great presentation. And at the end of the presentation, she looked at me and she goes, "You don't meditate. How could you tell people that you meditate?"
That's what you said?
He's telling people
I
to
was
meditate,
giving all
and I
the
said,
steps. It was the first time I was out there, So
I said, you can't tell somebody to do something that you don't do. I said, what happens afterwards when they come up to you and say, oh, well, what kind of meditation do you do?
So it was really a lesson in authenticity that
Yes.
said, listen, if I really need to tell people. And so the fabulous part for me is over the last 3 years, putting together the content and living with it every day, and then putting together these specific training modules. I have to do it. I have to live it. So when I say successful
point.
people get up early, you have to be genuinely getting up early. I get up earlier than
gets up
anybody.
early.
4
I
a.m.
get up early.
Yeah, 4 a.m. It's just,
Yeah, and I haven't used an
Just
alarm
do it.
clock in forever. I just do it. I mean, it's interesting. So when I put the rules together now, they're very, very authentic, and the success ratio is so much higher because it is legitimately what I do, and it seems to flow much better than trying to create things that people want to hear.
it's your gifts.
So it's
You're
my gift.
operating in your
Correct.
gifts and your strengths.
Exactly
And it took years for you to really hone that down and then put it on paper. I think that's one of the difficulties, is putting things on paper
Correct.
that
very
you
true.
live and you walk in it and you're constantly executing in it, but not everybody can do what you do.
It's and so that's, I think, one of the reasons why I'm as happy as I am every day, is because I'm doing something that I genuinely love. I really have no fear of not being successful because I've already done this. I know how to do this. I know how to teach people, and it's the gift of teaching is so fantastic, far beyond any economic benefit I've ever received. When people genuinely do something that I've suggested they do, and then send me emails as I share with Michelle, it's like, wow, so she's been a real inspiration for me. And I think really everybody should have that person who's in their corner saying, don't do this. And,
I agree. I agree. It's like the checks and balances. And I
Big
think in that partnership, the relationship, it creates a synergy. It lifts both of you up to do your very finest, because you can always count on that person to be there for you, to tell you, hey, you know what? Got a piece of spinach in your teeth or whatever. And they're honest with
Do you hate
you.
when people don't tell you?
They're not my friends, then I can assure you. I had that happen once.
it's fun
Happened
watching.
once.
You got to admit,
It
it's
is.
fun watching. Just
It is,
see how
but
long it's going to
it's
stay
okay
there.
to tell people.
It is, but it's your real friends are going to be really
Yeah.
point blank upfront with you. They're not going to be mean, but they're going to be honest. And I think that genuine authenticity just speaks volumes for the business that you do too. People know that when you two come to the table, things are going to get done. They're going to get done right. And if they're not going in a great way, you're going to have them course correct. You're going to teach them to build relationships if they don't already know how. You're going to step into that gap where they may have some weaknesses.
I think what's most interesting is if you talk to people and ask them about what's your take on salespeople. Most people will go, they have a vision of what salespeople are, because there's this mentality that salespeople have a lot of control and they could sort of influence you to buy something. Those days are so over.
Agreed.
They're
Totally
just,
agree.
So I personally come from a place where I don't believe anybody can sell anything to anybody else. I just don't believe that exists. So people who focus on that outcome, that that place of where I'm going to close them, I'm going to put here's 101 ways to close somebody. I think it's wasted effort.
Agreed.
When
Energy.
When in the reality, and this is where I think the people that work with us and I've been most successful is I invest the time and energy in the process of doing all the things that get me to a point where somebody could buy from me, and then I never have any control who does, but more fall through the pipeline than don't. So it's a simple equation, but along the way, what's fascinating is that I make a lot of great friends. I meet a lot of great people. They don't have to buy from me to validate from me, and I think that's really what people get caught up in. Great salespeople get over that. We all have fear and we all have doubt.
Absolutely.
And there's always that anxiety. I mean, even to this day, sometimes there's a deal that we get into and go, okay, we won it. How are we going to do that? But beyond that point, you get to the place where we just know how to do this. And,
Right.
you look at guys like Tom Brady.
It's the gig.
Tom Brady knows how to do it. Right?
He's
He
a
doesn't
professional.
need you to rah-rah. He doesn't.
Nope.
They didn't go in the locker
Nope.
room and
Go,
like,
oh, come on, Tom.
right,
He knows
just
how to
said,
do it better than the Jets do.
By the way,
Did I hear that?
one of the difficult things in our relationship is we have never rooted for the same sports team
Oh,
ever.
are you kidding? Okay, how's that working
She's
out
from
for you?
Oklahoma.
How's that working out for you?
She's from Dallas. She's so it's always been so.
I root for the Jets if they're playing like
Right.
a team that, I don't care about. But
The great, I think the greatest part about having Michelle on board is that we make our own rules, we make our own time schedule, so we get to travel a lot.
Which is
you know,
really great.
For those that follow
Fabulous.
us on Facebook, we're in different cities with different people a lot, and we enjoy that. We're very invested in it, and we take the most of it. We really don't have a culture of bitching about anything.
Complaining,
It's
yeah.
non-productive. There's a lot of people who complain, and we all have the power of choice. So and so that there's so many great learnings and things that I've been able to take over the course of time that are now in this book. That I'm
So excited to have that come out.
I'm really,
Steve.
really.
I'm sure
really
you're
excited,
like
So
thrilled.
and I made a goal, that I wanted the company to grow, and I wanted it to grow without me. And so we've been fortunate. Zach, who is now the president of the company, he's 30 years old. He's done an amazing job. And again, I don't think 5 years ago I could have made that decision because I thought the world revolved around me. And it's really been cathartic because I'm part of the mix. I'm not the mix.
Right.
So.
And have you helped him see that? Your relationship, has that actually balanced you out and made you more secure in knowing that you picked Zach, you picked the right person? that he can run things and you can do your thing. What do you think?
I think so. I think the journey actually started with that several years ago in knowing that who Steve was. I mean, he was the CEO of the company and he is a visionary, but he's not a manager of people. And so as he will tell you, he's more like, the president of sales or the VP of sales. He's a salesperson and he needed to be free to go do his thing, which he's really good at. So it was a process of coming to that conclusion, so to speak. And I think it's been a very good one. And Zach is very poised to do the position that he's in now.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's, the younger generation, there's a lot of good, attributes, and there's, not so
Some
great.
opportunities that could be worked on, but it's
Correct.
But
Thank
it's
you
but
for-
it's
Yes.
it's the culture. It's the this.
Right.
It's the here's where our attention is,
Right.
and this is where it's going to
And
stay.
I think one of the challenges is work ethic. That
Yes.
that's sort of a little bit more
the
entitlement,
grind,
maybe.
right?
So,
The grind is the grind. It doesn't matter how you do it, whether you're on a phone, whether you're sitting at a desk and you're on your computer, or you're contacting people, or you're out in the field. The grind is the grind.
oh, without a
And
doubt.
if you don't have that work ethic, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
this environment-
You're not going to get out the gates. That gate's going to close on your hind.
well, this environment is so cluttered with distraction
Yes,
that it's
it
easy
is.
to get
Yes.
sent off. I mean, now you walk around with your TV with you.
Right.
So any of the shows that you normally would have to wait till Sunday night to watch, you can watch
On demand.
On demand. It's
Get off your phone.
fascinating. So for us, helping people bridge that gap of going from online to offline
Yes.
has been. I was surprised at how many people are not comfortable developing relationships. So
And that's because of the computerized smartphone
it's two reasons.
era.
It's two reasons. It's because of that, and I just think it takes a lot of work and effort to invest yourself in the relationship. It doesn't happen by accident. So you have to give. You have to
Required.
be authentic. You have to show up.
2 ears
Yes.
and
One
one
mouth.
mouth.
There you go.
There's a reason
There's a
God
reason.
made us like that.
You know.
He was real wise.
And listening is a tremendous skill
Agreed.
that people don't have the patience for. So so we've seen all different challenges. That's why breaking it down into a process that, interestingly enough, because my sons are in coaching, I'm a big sports fan. They all practice. Salespeople, as a rule, don't practice.
Have to practice.
You have to practice. You're in the gym all the
Practice.
time. You practice.
That's what it is.
You get good at doing sit-ups. You get good at doing the squats, and nobody loves doing squats, or maybe you do.
Yes. Some of us do.
I'd rather do crunches.
Walking lunges are the best. I'm sorry. That's my
they're the
favorite.
worst.
Nobody loves walking lunges.
Yes,
Come on.
I do.
You do weighted
Hundreds,
walk. You do weighted
hundreds of
walking.
them. Hundreds
Give
of
me a
them.
pair of point shoes and a ballet bar, and I'm happy.
Sorry, I'm not that graceful.
I'm not that strong. Well, even when we go out to dinner or we take time for date night, or even if we're with a group of friends, I mean, you will rarely find us in the dining room eating. We usually like to sit at the bar because there's more people,
And you can talk.
and we can talk more. We meet so many people that way.
Wow.
I mean, I
This
don't
is a
even know
really
what it
good
would be
tip,
like.
people. This is a good tip. Please listen
Yes.
to what
Yeah.
Michelle is saying. This is really important.
Yeah, I mean, very rarely have we ever sat at a table for two in the dining room of a restaurant. It's just not who we are.
We probably wouldn't have anything to say to each other.
We're like, drink,
You be checking
please.
your phone.
Yeah, another drink.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that, because at a recent restaurant, a recent outing, Michelle said, "Listen, you leave your phone home," and I was like, "Wow,
That's nice.
okay."
I like
so
that.
it's a no phone night, date night, no phone. I said, "Okay, you know what? I'll go for that." And she said, "Let's try to sit at a table." I mean, this is the truth. You can't make it up. We get to the restaurant. The restaurant was crowded. It was a nice restaurant. So we said, "Okay, we'll go to the bar." We sat at the bar, and I don't have my phone. Totally attentive. The young lady bartender was so fantastic. And I'll make the story short, but she was so great that she says, "Why don't you guys stay and have dinner?" And we looked at each other and we're like,
It's just who we are.
Just
It's a
we
sign.
did-
It was a sign.
right
Well, there
in.
were three signs.
So nice.
She knew my favorite drink. which nobody in South Florida has ever heard of before. So
And what is it?
She suggested it. It's a French 75.
Have you ever had a French 75? It's fantastic.
It's my favorite drink. Splash of gin, though, more champagne. And she suggested the food on the menu that I had already picked out to eat. Yes, and then she suggested that we sit at the bar.
Bonus.
So
Wow.
it was just the signs, and so we're like we're meant to sit at the bar, but you meet tons of people that way. Which
So,
we
so
have.
the takeaway from that, though, is that
Got two, so you got to be
Yep.
quick.
the people at the bar and the bartender are now friends of ours, and she's actually referred us some business. So
And they all
business
do.
Yeah.
is
And they
always one
all
degree
do.
away.
One person away.
Yeah.
Degree away. So
Just like we all know people. and
treat
if-
everybody right. Listen, in my early businesses, I
Beautiful.
always treated
Yep.
the janitor the same way I treated
Ditto.
everybody.
Yes.
Always.
And you know what? I treat everybody with respect. I expect the same in return, and I love the people side of what I do. I don't actually like the doing as much.
Ditto. Me too. That's my thing. I love the people. That's
great.
why
If we could
I
do
love
this all day long.
I know, yeah.
all day long. But this is the platform that I want to build for our viewers and listeners.
Fantastic.
And folks, listen, thank you so much, Steve, Michelle, for coming on here. I really want you to come back again.
Great.
We'll do more. Maybe I'll have an hour show by then. Anyway, folks, we are streaming live on Facebook at the Faith Washington page, and we are on FM 95.3, 1470 AM, iHeartRadio app across the nation. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night. We'll see you next week on Thursday, 7:30 p.m.
Stay on the ball.
You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business. And join me every Wednesday night at 7 p.m.